This is the laziest way to create a killer YouTube script that keep 80% of your viewers watching.
This is episode number 4 of my 4-step manual on how to start a YouTube channel the laziest way.
6 years on YouTube, 4 videos made for myself, millions of views and sales made for my clients. This all got distilled into just 4 things that matter the most: algorithm, ideas, thumbnail and title, and script. So we all know that scripts usually have 3 parts, which is intro, the body, and the outro. The intro of your video is very much like plating. Imagine that you have gone to a very expensive restaurant and the plates that they serve you are amazing. Like the meals look on them super good. This is what your intro should be like. It needs to be very enticing for viewers to watch because they eat on average looks pretty yucky. But how exactly will you make your intro so good that it looks like the beautiful designed plating in a restaurant? Now, I like to use the 3C framework for this. First C in this 3C framework is the crazy hook. Here's an example.
The chemicals in this innocent food are slowly poisoning you.
You can tell from this part that your hook should state something so crazy or should show something crazy that people would have the wow effect. Like, oh my god, really? Am I gonna get poisoned? Now, how exactly do you create the shock effect? There are plenty of ways to do that, way too many. So this could be like different pictures. You show the comparisons, like what title do you think would be clickable? This or this? This is a crazy hook because you show the comparison and you make people interact with it. Or if you create videos on fashion, you can show the outfit that you've created and it's gonna be so good that people are like, oh, wow. Or if you made great results for your clients in Facebook ads, show the ad account and how great those results are. This is gonna have that wow effect again to your target audience that we wanna have with this crazy hook. Now, the second C in our 3C framework is credibility stack. This is where essentially you're explaining to people why they should listen to you. Here's an example.
I've worked with hundreds of clients dealing with chronic fatigue, brain fog, and inflammation.
So yeah, take a sentence or two speaking about what you've done in this area, what results did you get, and why you're credible to talk on this. Now, the third C is the content preview. Very simple, you just show people what they're gonna watch in this video. You can show the structure of your video, like what chapters you're gonna go through, what questions you're gonna get answered.
Today, I'm gonna walk you through the toxins hiding in your kitchen right now.
The easiest way to start this is, today we're gonna talk about this, this, and that. And now you're done with your intro. Quite fast, right? Now let's move on to the meat. And meat should be juicy. This is gonna be our video's body. So unless your information you're given is pretty juicy and interesting, don't even bother creating video on that topic. But how exactly should you create the meat in a way that it would be super juicy, but still would take as minimal effort and time as possible? You know what I recommend everybody to do in this step is to create a listicle. Listicle is a golden standard YouTube format. You can show steps, you can show items, you can have top 5 tools, etc. And you know what? Just as when you eat meat, you don't want to eat too much because then you're gonna get bloated and you're gonna fart a lot and nobody likes that. In the same manner, your meat, your body of the video should be very short. And in this case, I recommend you to just go with only 3 points of your body. You know, what I see a lot of people are doing is that they are creating super long bodies. They want to, dump everything they know on that matter. And this just gets them burned out really quickly because it's a lot of effort to create that script and it's a lot of effort to film that script afterwards. You don't want to waste that much time. So focus on 3 points that you want to convey across and script each one of the points in the next way. I want to present you the Ross framework that I've come up with. And yes, it is named after Ross from Friends. Here we got R, which is Rehook. Imagine our retention graph, right? It goes like this. We got chapters, right? They are somewhere here. And if we want our viewers to watch longer, we need to rehook them at every single chapter that we're starting, so they still want to continue watching the next chapters. Now, how exactly do you do this? Pretty simple. For example, you can use phrases like, here's what's even crazier, and here when it gets interesting. But here's the problem most people don't see. These are longer ones, but actually you can even do with the words like but, however, or here's the thing. And one of my favorites, all that I've said before makes no sense without this next thing. Now, remember that situation from Friends when Rachel told Ross that she was pregnant? Very hilarious, but notice how intelligently they rehooked the viewers before going into that scene.
I think there's something that we really need to talk about.
I think we do. Ross and Rachel,
Rachel and Ross. That's been one heck of a seesaw, hasn't it?
So they rehook with phrases like, we need to talk about it. And this already states us in the mood that something serious is gonna happen. And then Ross is giving us a little bit of a context by saying, Ross and Rachel, Rachel and Ross, that's been one heck of a seesaw. And here again, we're focusing our attention on what's going to happen because, well, that's been a pretty long history between them. Now, what do you do with O? You then open with a new information. Obviously, your video is valuable and you need to give some new information to people. So here's exactly where you should do that. And let's see how Rachel did it.
I'm pregnant. And you're the father, by the way, but you got...
That's a bombshell moment. This is how the open part should look like something completely unexpected. Then, to support your open new information part, you need to give people a story because story always wins. So this is the place when you can insert your personal story, a case study, an example, some hypothetical Mary and John situation. It could be a metaphor, analogy, like imagine this is a Ferrari. This helps us viewers to immerse more in what we are saying and to explain the new information you just opened better. Let's see how they did it in Friends.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand how this happened. we used a condom.
I know, but you know, condoms only work like 97% of the time.
What?
So we see how the conflict develops. They don't know how this happened. Ross starts to tell us the story that they used a condom, and it's very shocking for him. And she moves on with the story by saying that condoms work only in 97% of cases. And once you're done with the story, you move on to the next S, which is solve. Here's where you present a conclusion, a solution, a lesson derived from all these parts that you told before. Let's see how Ross did it.
Well, they should put that on the box!
They do!
No, they don't! Well, they should put it in huge block letters!
I see a pretty clear lesson here. Like, they definitely should put the information about the effectiveness of condoms on their boxes with really big letters. That's the lesson we should take from it. This is exactly how your solve moment should feel like. So how this Ross framework would work with a finance video. You rehook the viewer. You say, now here's where many people make mistakes with money. Then you open with the new information. They automatically spend their raises they get at work. Now you storytell. For example, I had a client that got a $5,000 raise in the new year and they immediately upgraded their furniture. They went to the Disneyland and spent all that raise in a moment. Now you solve. But once we automated that the part of their raises goes automatically to investing, they stopped overspending that much. Now let's see it all together. Once we're done with the body, we are moving to the last part. And when you are in the restaurant eating your meat and you're done with it, you know what happens? You get greeted by a chef. And this is how your outro should feel like. First, imagine that a chef came to you and said, this all is on the house. How would you feel? You would probably feel amazing. So first, I would remind people what they learned from that video and that it was actually all free. In the next step, you have your first CTA. And first CTA should be not your lead magnet, but actually the end screen. Let me explain. End screen is when you recommend your viewers to watch the next video right after this one. For example, if you like this video on investing, you would probably want to know how to add ETFs in your investment portfolio. And for that, you should watch this video. This end screen CTA is a secondary CTA, but why is it first? The reason being, people need time to make a decision on whether or not they want to watch the next video. And when you show your end screen CTA, referring people to other video right in the end, they have their video ended and they don't really have that much time to actually decide on clicking there. That's why a pro tip here is to use the end screen CTA in the first place, and only then you move to your lead magnet, which is your next CTA. Lead magnet or a freebie or some free document that you share with your viewers all the time. You can say, download my 100 viral title templates to see what videos have gone viral this year in order to get inspired and already create a video that is destined to succeed. That's going to be our next CTA, and step 4 is you signing off. Fun fact, even if all this works, the plating, the meeting a chef, there's still 99% of the chance that nobody's gonna watch your video unless you made a killer thumbnail, and title. I'm showing exactly how to do it right here. And it's the last part of my 4-part lazy YouTube series. Let me know in the comments if you liked it, what you feel about it, about this format. I would definitely want to know if you want more of that, because then I would film that and you would watch that and we all will be happy, you know, and we will end the wars in the universe. So a good thing to do is to comment whether or not you liked it or not. Grab your presents in the description as well as other 3 episodes of this series, and I hope you have the most wonderful day. Goodbye.